we're going to make this wharenui using simple tools and simple shapes combined together to make a more complex shape from simple objects like the cube and the triangular prism, and using the whole function, the align function and the group function. The first thing we need to do is get the basic shapes that we need. So I'm going to use the cube and I'm going to drag that in, and we're going to use some options here. So we need to keep things simple and accurate. So I want to set the width of my wharenui to 80 millimeters. Once I've set my width, I'm not going to worry about the depth. We'll deal with that in a moment. First of all, I want to set the actual height. This will determine the pitch of the roof. So let's just click on this. I'm going to make this 40 millimeters tall. That should be good enough. Maybe I'll take it down a little bit, but you can play with this. I'll make it 35 millimeters. And so this is the basic shape of my wharenui. Doesn't look like anything yet. We're going to put the roof on top. But what's important to remember are the dimensions. So I've set these now at 80, that we're at the depth, and this one is 35. We need to remember that. Next, I'm going to pull across the triangular prism, and I'm just going to line it up roughly. And we know that my width was 80, so I'm going to copy that because I want to align these. Now that pitch is too flat for a wharenui, so I'm going to make the height of my pyramid, so the overall height on this one was 35, so I'm going to click on this one and make this, let's just see what it looks like to start with. I'm going to make this 25. Is that going to be good enough, do I think? No, I think I probably need to make it, and it's all about proportions. I'm going to make this 30, and I'm probably going to reduce this one down to 30. That'll do us, I think. Right, so now I want to align these up. So all I've done is set the heights. I'm going to highlight both of them, and I now want to use the align tool, and I want to center them. Don't worry about the fact that they've gone inside each other, doesn't matter. I'm going to use this lift tool now, and I want to make sure this is lifted up the height of that red block, and I made that 30. And these are my two blocks organized on top of each other. Let's just have a look at this. Do I think it's got the kind of proportions of a wharenui? Possibly, maybe I think 80 is too wide in terms of proportion, so I'm just going to reduce that. I'm going to reduce that to 70, and that means I need to reduce this one to 70. And if things get misaligned, let's have a look at this again. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I might bring this one down to 25 now, and then this means I need to bring the height of this down to 25 above the ground. Wrong one, Command Z. And I need to make that 25, and they combine again. So I've now got two blocks aligned with the kind of proportions that I think I want. So we need to remind ourselves, is this what I want? Yes, it is. So first of all, I'm going to combine these. So again, select both those blocks and click on the combine tool. Now I've got a combined shape. Next, what I want to do is copy that. So I can use the copy function over here, copy, and I can paste. There we go. I've got two blocks. Now I want to use this other block to cut this second block here. So I'm just going to move this out of the way and remind myself of my dimensions. That's 70. So I want to make this one 60. I want to have 5 millimeters depth either side. So I'm going to make that 60. And the overall height of this one was 50. So I want to make the overall height of this one 40. And I want to lift it 5 millimeters off the ground so I can make the recess for the front of the wharenui. So let's just lift this up, so click on this one, lift it up and make sure that's exactly 5mm. Right, so I want to turn this into a hole now, and I now have a hole that's floating above the ground that I'm going to use to push out the size of my wharenui here. So what I want to do first of all is just kind of get them roughly lined up. That'll do. Again, because I've moved it around, let's use the align tool. I want them to be centered, so let's just highlight and then use the align tool and center them both with each other. That's good, that's all I want. And I'm going to now, this is, remind myself the width of the back of the wharenui, so I want to make it longer. Currently it's 20, let's make this 80 deep. That's the length of my wharenui, and I now want to push into the depth of my recess here in the wharenui. I want to push that back. Let's go 30mm. Oh no, let's make that, add an extra 30mm, that makes it 50. So it's going to push that far into the front of my wharenui, and you can see I've got a recess being made. So now I need to use that hole to cut out that shape. And now I'm going to come up here to the combine or group, click on that. I've now got this object here. If I zoom in, we can see inside our shape, and that's the first part of making our wharenui.